Is the iPhone in trouble? This is the Google Pixel 10. It's not the 10 Pro, it's not the 10 Pro XL, it's not the 10 Pro Fold. It's the regular Pixel that has just been announced and that you can pre-order now. I just want to talk honestly about this phone because I switched to it, not permanently, that isn't what this video is about, but I switched from the iPhone 16e to the Pixel 10 this weekend. So for 3 days, basically, I've been using the Pixel 10 as my main phone. And to cut straight to the chase, I don't know why you'd need anything else. Which begs the question, who needs the Pro and the Pro XL? And if this is the year where you're thinking, I've had enough of the iPhone, I want to go with something completely different on the other side of the fence, why wouldn't you just go for this? And the reason I say that is because on my Tech Diary channel, which is my second waffly channel, which we'll link to down below, I asked the question last week, how many people are thinking about doing that? How many people are thinking about going from the iPhone to something else this year? And has the Pixel 10 series piqued your interest? And there are so many comments on that video saying that's exactly what I'm thinking of doing. It's a really interesting time. Really interesting. Let's get into this. Okay, I think this is an iterative update, to be fair. Google, on the face of it, hasn't made a huge number of changes to the Pixel 10 over the Pixel 9, but they have made very smart choices. It's got the Google Tensor G5, which is a brand new chip. It's got 12 gig of RAM. It's got two storage options, 128 and 256 gig. The display is a 6.3-inch Actua OLED panel. It's got 3000 nits of peak brightness. The camera system has been changed because it has a 5 times optical zoom, which is very good news. The battery still lasts over 24 hours according to Google, and it charges up to 55% in about 30 minutes with 45 watt USB-C charging, and it's Qi 2 compatible, which is a big deal. It also has something called Pixel Snap, which I'll talk about later. It's got 7 years of OS security and pixel drop updates. It comes in 4 colors and it starts at $799 in the UK. We'll put the US pricing down below. Again, I don't want to sound like a PDF. So let's talk about what you want from a smartphone and why I think this gives you all of that. The first thing you want is a good looking phone, which does matter. You're spending a lot of money. You want it to look fantastic whenever you pick it out of your pocket or out of your bag. This is a very big statement, and if you don't agree with me, or if you do agree with me, please get involved in the comments. I think the Pixel 10 is the best looking smartphone on the market right now. I think Pixels have been some of the best looking phones ever anyway. I think Google just gets this right. It's very, very distinctive. It's not fussy. The color choices are fantastic. This is the indigo version, which harks back, I think, to the first Pixel. They've brought this color back basically. But there's other options that you can choose from. I got hands on with all of them in Paris a few weeks ago and they're just lovely. Equally, the display is just wonderful. 3000 nits of peak brightness, incredibly vibrant. It's got the 120 Hz refresh rate. It goes down to 60 Hz, whereas the Pro and Pro XL go right down to 1 Hz, which might improve battery life. It has no tangible effect on the use case, or not the use case. It has that 1 to 120 Hz thing has no tangible difference to the look and feel of the display, but that's worth bearing that in mind possibly. But forgetting all of that, it's a lovely looking phone. The only thing I'd say is that the back gets a bit smudgy because it's gloss. It's like a gloss finish, which looks lovely straight out of the box, but you do have to keep a cloth handy basically. The edges are not shiny, which you do get on the Pixel 10 Pro and Pro XL. They are a matte finish, but to be honest, I think I prefer that. However, most of you do put cases on your phone. I appreciate that, and Google sent me the indigo version of their case, which looks nice. It's nice and, well, it's great, but it's not this week's sponsor, which is D brand. Now, I'm not going to talk about everything in this box, apart from what I might do is open this at the end of this video. I've got no idea what's in this. It's got nothing to do with the sponsory. If you want to hang around until the end, watch the rest of it, obviously. I might actually open that if I remember. However, the reason for the dbrand sponsoring of this video is this, the white Damascus skin. It's very easy to apply. If I can do it, then you can do it. But if you don't fancy putting a case on your phone, but you want some protection, dbrand is the best way to do this. This skin offers scratch protection. It's just 0.23 millimeters thin. If you go for the case instead, that has military grade impact protection and a protective grip around the edges. Whether you go for the case or for the skin, dbrand has you covered. I love dbrand stuff. I'm so happy they fancied sponsoring this video. They have sent me some other stuff as well. There is a box in here with the screen protector for the Pixel 10. Basically, if you get a Pixel 10 or a 10 Pro or a 10 Pro XL, dbrand has you covered. We'll put a link down below, and I will open that massive box a bit later. The next design thing feels quite big, to be honest, even though technically it's not that big. And it's Pixel Snap, which is an arrangement of magnets built into the phone. It's on the Pixel 10, the 10 Pro, the 10 Pro XL, and the 10 Pro Fold. There's a magnet here somewhere, and there's a magnet here somewhere, which means you can attach wallets, chargers, all sorts of clever accessories to the back of the phone without a case. It's just very, very convenient. It's brand new for the Pixel. If it sounds familiar, it's because we've had MagSafe on the iPhone for quite a long time now, and it does the same thing. In fact, when did MagSafe come out? Hey Siri. Hey Google. When did Apple introduce MagSafe to the iPhone? The iPhone 12. Thank you. This means that you can take your MagSafe accessories from your iPhone. For instance, I use this Nomad wallet all the time. It's got my gym card in there and something else in there, which I won't show you because it's my credit card. It's very, very useful, and it sits on the back of my iPhone 16e, which I have to have a case for because it doesn't have MagSafe. Now, I can take that. That may not look like much, but trust me, if you've been used to MagSafe on the iPhone, if you get the chance to pick up another phone that isn't an iPhone and place a MagSafe accessory onto the back of it without a case or anything to help it, it's a real whoa moment. It was for me when I did this in my kitchen over the weekend. Whoa. I don't think I can overstate how important this is. Watch. I had to do that. I'm sorry. I had no choice but to do that. If you've got chargers, you know, these kind of really cool little MagSafe compatible bedside chargers or any kind of MagSafe accessory, and you're thinking, well, I can't switch from the iPhone because I've invested all this money in these MagSafe things. Well, you can. The next thing you need is good battery life, and no, the Google Pixel 10 doesn't have a silicon kryptonite battery, but it has a very good 2-day battery that charges fast and is Qi 2 compatible. That's all that matters. Your phone also needs a very good camera system, and this is very subjective, but once again, I'm going to make a big statement, which is that I think the Pixel series has always had the best camera system on the market. I just love Pixel photos, and the Pixel 10 still delivers in that respect. It also has that new 5x optical telephoto, which has up to 20x super res zoom. There's a 48 megapixel main camera with HDR+. It's got an ultra-wide camera. It's got a 10.5 megapixel autofocus front-facing selfie camera. It shoots 10-bit HDR video by default. It's a very, very good camera system. Yes, it only goes up to 20x zoom, but like I've said so many times, anything beyond 20x. And to be fair, I haven't tried the Pro and the Pro XL yet. Until I've tried that, I reserve judgment on the Pixel side of things. But for most other phones, beyond 10, to be honest, is way, way too much. So 20 is absolutely fine. And I've been showing you photos from the Pixel. I've not taken that many photos with the Pixel 10, but immediately it gives me that Pixel 10 look and feel to the photos, which is what I want. Let me know what you think in the comments. Yes, they're contrasty, they're sharpened, they're quite dramatic, but that's what I love about Pixel photos. So the camera system for me has a massive thumbs up. The next thing you want from your phone is a fantastic operating system that isn't full of stuff that you don't need on it, loads of apps that are installed by default and that you have to remove and declutter from your home screen, and which is easy to use, and which possibly has, I say possibly because I don't know how many people rely every single day on AI features, but a phone that has AI that works, that is polished, that isn't in beta, that just does the job intended. And I think The Google Pixel 10 has the best version of Android because it's the purest version, etc. There's no bloatware on it. It's just Android as Google sees it. And it has AI made by Google. It has Gemini, it has Google AI, it has lots of stuff. It's got Magic Q, which proactively surfaces relevant information and the next step for whatever you're doing in the app that you're in at the moment. It's got Camera Coach, which guides you to the best composition for a photo. It's got Notebook LM integration, which I haven't really tried. If you know what Notebook LM is, it's like a research tool. That is now built into the Pixel 10. You've got Gemini Live, which is insane. It means you can basically point your camera at stuff and it knows what it can see the stuff in front of you. So for instance, I did this with my son recently where we were playing Snap with, I think it was a Marvel Snap game. And I just pointed the phone at this horrible jumble of cards on the sofa and said, "What are we doing?" And within seconds it said, "Hey, it looks like you're playing a Marvel version of Snap." And then it started talking to us about its favorite, not its favorite characters, but it started asking us about our favorite characters and stuff. It's unbelievable. There's more camera stuff as well. So we have Auto Best Take, where it automatically combines similar photos to create one perfect shot where everyone is looking in the right direction. You've got the Add Me thing where you can take a photo of a group and then add yourself into it afterwards. There's Live Translate for phone calls, and you can now ask the phone to make edits to your photos rather than pressing things on the screen. So for instance, you can say, remove distractions or make this photo brighter. I can't test that at the moment because it's US only. I've not tested all of this AI stuff because I'm not a big AI user, and this video would go on for months if I did that. But the point being, Google has everything nailed when it comes to AI. So if AI is important and if you want a really clean version of Android, again, I have two questions for the Pixel 10. The first one is, why would you go for the Pro? Because the Pixel 10, as I've been saying, seems to have everything for most people. If you want the biggest Pixel you can get, then you have to go for the Pro XL. That's the iPhone Pro Max sized Pixel device. That one's obvious, but going from the regular 10 to the 10 Pro, it's a bit more subtle in terms of what you get, but it is important to note because for some people it will matter. You get 16 gig of RAM on the Pro versus the 12 that you have on this one, which can have an impact on performance, particularly with AI and that sort of stuff if that's important. You also get the option of 512 or 1 terabyte of storage, so you get lots more storage options. It also has the 100 times ProRes zoom, which you don't get on this. This goes to 20. It has a 42 megapixel selfie, which is significantly more megapixels than this one. It has video boost, which is when you can take video on the 10 Pro or the 10 Pro XL, send it to Google's servers, and it does some very clever processing, sends it back to your phone, and it looks even better. The display is slightly brighter, and it has that 1 to 120 hertz refresh rate, which I mentioned earlier, which could have an impact on battery life. And it has upgraded speakers and a 1-year Google AI Pro subscription. So lots of differences, but they're all quite subtle, and they're geared towards people, like I say, who know exactly what they want. I can't tell you which one's right for you, but that's the main differences. The second question I have for the Pixel 10 is, why would you go with the iPhone? Why would you stick with the iPhone? The reasons for doing so are getting less and less. So there's familiarity. If you are really familiar with your iPhone, I understand why you'd get an iPhone next or stick with the iPhone that you've got. The ecosystem lock-in is a thing. I was talking to my friend over the weekend. He's got kids who have phones, and because of that, him and his wife have all of the the parental controls to keep tabs on what's going on. I totally get that, but you also get, you get the Apple Watch, you get your Mac and all that sort of stuff. I get that. Everything else, though, seems to be swinging in Google and Google Pixel's direction. The fact we can now use MagSafe accessories, joking apart, it's massive. It makes a massive difference. The fact that Google Photos is so much better than Photos on iOS. Much, much better, and you can just transfer all of your photos from your iPhone into Google Photos and bang, that's that particular hurdle overcome. Value for money, I think you're getting a much better phone with the Pixel 10 versus the regular iPhone 16. Yes, we've got the 17 on the way, but I haven't got that at the minute, so I can't comment on it. I just think there's less and less reasons, or less hurdles and less excuses for iPhone people who have been thinking about switching, have been teetering on the edge not to do it this year, because the Pixel 10 is one of the best phones I've ever used. And the fact that you don't need much more than this. The Pro and the Pro XL are there, the Fold is there. Is the iPhone in trouble? Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you haven't hit subscribe yet and you've been watching this channel for a while, please do. I've got lots of other reviews on the way. I might be covering the Pro and the Pro XL and hopefully the Pro Fold as well. So make sure you hit subscribe. I'll be covering the iPhone launch as well. I did say, didn't I, that I would open this. There's loads of writing on it, which I think is dbrand's fine print. I'm not going to sit here and read that out at all. I hope it wasn't supposed to be part of the sponsor read because, well, I'm covering it still, aren't I? Let's go. Oh, wow. Hang on. Oh, what an unboxing. Whatever this is substantial. Oh, wow. Whoa, whoa, whoa. No idea what that is. Is it a book? It's a book. dbrand, a visual, I hope I'm supposed to be showing you this, a visual compendium. It's all about all their products. This is incredible. I didn't ask for this. This just turned up with the stuff for the sponsor. Switch stuff there. Look. Probably not bedtime reading, but thank you, dbrand. That's lovely. Nothing to do with the Pixel at all. And if you've just hung around to see that, thank you. Might have been a bit of an anticlimax from your perspective, but not from mine. I'm going to go and read this. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Do all that stuff I mentioned a moment ago and get involved in the comments. See you down there.